Hello everyone, this is Rosemary and this is a walkthrough through a journal I made, a vintage style journal made from an envelope. This cover is made from one of these inter-office envelopes. My sister gave it to me, gave me actually a whole pack of them. So what I did was I covered it with some satin. And then I did the layering that you see. And I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time. And in the center, these are some women that I found in a catalog. A friend gave me some pictures. And this pink is the center of a greeting card. And around the card are layers of different lace. The flower is a muslin rolled flower my friend Janie made for me. And this is the closure right here, a little bit different. I had wanted to put this closure on a different journal. And it basically is a ribbon, and there's a button down the bottom. Well, there's a button that goes here, and this elastic closure is the closure right there. And I thought it went very well with this vintage journal. So this is some lace. And I got it a little bit darker because I wanted to emphasize it on the spine. And what I did was I put distress ink and then I sprayed it with coffee. So it gives it a little bit browner look. Vintage look, I should say, more vintage. The back is just a collaging of some lace, tissue paper, music paper, a doily. And this is the ribbon that is the closure, and it has been glued down. So how this closure works now, it's this elastic, and you can have a plain ribbon. All you need is elastic and this circle, and I kind of like the button there to hide the stitching. And it is glued on the back, so it's not, you don't lose it all the time. And so here we go. This is the inside. And here are my tags. The inside cover, I covered the paper with a dictionary page and a very pale, this flower is a napkin. Everybody knows I love napkin decoupage. And to give it the vintage look, I added 2 rows of lace, as you see up here. Now the lace, I coat it with Mod Podge to stiffen it up, and it can be a tuck spot. You see, that's why it stays in place. You can tuck it at the top also if you want it tucked like that. That was the idea behind it. But if you want to stiffen lace, Mod Podge is a great way of doing that. I'm sure there's other ways. Also, this is some stationery. I think this is the last page of this stationery that I used here. And I like to use it, and this journal is going to be lightly decorated, yet it's going to have a lot of room for journaling, for someone to decorate it how they wish. Here's some stickers right here, and my friend Mary Lou gave them to me. Like I mentioned before, people give me stuff when they're cleaning out the craft room. This is a stamp I just barely found. Well, I've used it. And I stamped it on tissue paper because if you look very closely, the paper is, the stamp is just really fine. And it says to write a, what is it, some kind of love letter. You ought to begin without knowing what you will write, to want to say, and then finish without knowing what you have written. I don't know, like I said, my reading glasses are not working well. This is the embellished envelope, embellished paper clip, and what you're going to see, and like I said, I want the person to decorate it, do whatever they want, but at the same time, you want to have something to decorate the pages, so they can take all the tags out if they wish. Now, I had some pretty large paper clips. You can see it there, but I thought it looked very industrial. So I just covered part of it with a ticket and a butterfly. And it also serves to decorate this page. This is a card, and on the card I added a tiny little tag, little pocket and a tag there. And you open it, some light stenciling, and then I glued it so that a large tag can fit in the back there. And so there you see. I think it's a very pretty page. I used, right here, I used some tissue paper. It was given in a swap. And this is a napkin from my friend Janie, and it went perfectly with this stationery. As you can see, I use a lot of stationery. I try to find, when I find it, I buy it, and I usually get it at thrift stores. This is a cluster tuck. It's a tuck there. I should have stuck something there, but you can see it's there, and this whole page matches, and yet it is lightly decorated. Up here I have some lace, playing with some lace right here, and you can see the bottom of the stationery, and you're going to see, because these pages are large, they're like 8.5 by 6. So when I have large pages, I tend to put borders, either stitching, or there you can see some dictionary page, just to give it to decorate it so it doesn't look so stark. So that's what you will see throughout this journal. This is pictures from a catalog. A friend said, tear out as many pages as you want, and I tore out a few. And the paper is very, very thin, and so when I made a copy, instead of that dark brown that it was originally, it turned this delightful pinkish color. It looks kind of avocado stained, which it's not. Right here is a closure, because this is like a page, and you open it up, just a little stickers left over, and this is a tuck, as well as this flower with the butterfly there, and you can do whatever you want with it there, but I think it's just a fun page. Here you can see this is napkin, just to add a little bit in the stitching, and I used the stamp of this lady there, and and I didn't really want to decorate the pages too much, because you see all this interesting little coffee staining I have in a lot of these pages. I think that's really fun also. This is a cluster. Again, the same page about the catalog, bird cage, a strip of paper, and a stamp. And here's a little stamp up there, a sticker. And again, a printable and some stationery. And it goes right there. You can see the lace right here on the side. It's decorated, and some light stenciling that I sometimes will do. My mother cut this picture from a magazine. Every so often she'll give me pages, and she goes, this will look really good in your journals. And when I treat the magazine pages just like I do napkins, and when you Mod Podge them down, it takes the gloss away, and so I think they work really nice in a journal. This wonderful tag was made by Carla Rose, and she gave me a bunch of napkins, and she had them in this envelope that she had collaged, and so the envelope was so fun that I just cut it into strips, and it goes in. Here's a wonderful large tag. You can see how it just matches this flower also. I bought this memo pad because I love this flower, and I fussy cut, and this is a card from Artie Mays, a tag, and it just goes in there as a pocket. And this is orange graph paper that I found at a thrift store, which matches kind of neat. This is another page of stationery. It's very thin, and I just added some lace and some light stenciling. As you can see up here, so this is what makes the paper, and so there's some lace. This is a cluster which I added with this tag, and you know, when you have stray pieces of lace, I just added it on. It's a pocket, yet it's really, I think, a very pretty pocket with the clustering which I do enjoy doing. And I dug out these flourishing stamps. They're my favorites. I don't use them as often as I think I should. And I just put love there. And this page is just decorated with the lace, the water spots, and the stamping. This was a paper, scrap paper I had cut for another size journal, but it works. I like different kinds of sizes of papers in my journals. There you see the borders I'm making with dictionary pages, and I stamped some birds. The reason I did that is to go with this little tuck pocket. It was a napkin, and this white is from just some scratch paper, and then a punch. This tag came in a swap, and there it goes. Let's see, this is an envelope, and the butterfly is a tuck. Here's the tag, and behind it is the doily. It's on music paper. Here's a tag and a Western Union printable that I got from Pinterest. And again, you're seeing the tissue paper, and again, this stamp, the Flourishing Dream a Little Dream. This came from a book page. It had this table, and then I just have some lightly embellished paper clips, and I just clipped that girl in there just to add a photo. Right down here is a pocket. And again, this came from the catalog, a leftover piece. And this is a beautiful napkin, and I just love that, I don't know, cup of coffee, cup of tea, and then it is just lined at the round, just kind of finishing it. And I just think it looks very pretty. This is the center of the signature, which I tend to leave alone, but this is fun. This is a fake or faux envelope, and so you can see it right there. You can see the stitching. I fold it and it looks like an envelope. The flap is stenciled, and so is this side here, so it's just a pretty center there. Oops, it became unglued, and I have to glue this part. This is from Pinterest, and this is another memo pad, this flower right here, and I have to glue that. It became, but I want it to act like a belly band, and I have to glue it a little bit more there. This is the other side, some napkin right there. This is why I use the book page, because I like that. This, it says blessed, and this is a cluster embellished paper clip just to add some interest. And you see this. How you get this wonderful stained coffee stained drops is first you dip it, wet it however you want, let it dry, and then I get coffee and I just kind of throw drops of it and let it dry. So it's kind of like 2 coats of coffee, but you can see the spots I let, and it just comes out really nice. And this is copy paper. This is the other side of the embellished paper clip, and you can see I don't want it covered all the way because it's hard to use. Martha Stewart punch with a printable, and I cut out the back of it. It's actually a tuck if the owner wants to use it. Some music paper here, and you can see the border made by Book Pages, and just a simple embellished paper clip. This is one of my favorite printables of this young couple dancing. I added a butterfly at the top. Again, scrap paper, and this one says beauty is all around, and so we just leave it like that. This was a piece of lace, and I use it kind of like a sideways belly band, And here at the bottom is some ribbon that I sewed into a ruffle, and this came from Pinterest. It's very pretty. I think it's a very pretty page. And this is a tag I received in a swap. You can journal there, and you flip it over. And this also came from a swap. It's kind of like a little pad. All I did was add a hinge. Let's see, add a hinge up here at the top. And there you see the border. This is orange graph paper. I sewed around it. And just a stamp of silverware place setting. And up here, this, I'm trying to play with lace here. And it's kind of a corner tuck with a photo. And it goes like this. This lace came from probably a curtain. I think you know those lacy curtains. And right here, this is, and I think it's kind of stuck to one of the holes in there, but this is a cluster that I made with some Martha Stewart. You can see I like the rectangles. And the page is very plain until you put the cluster in. It's like a giant embellished paper clip the way it is right now. And some more stenciling. There you just see the napkin. And there's stitching around here. That's what forms the border. And it says, "Live life to the fullest." This is another piece of stationery. And I just Mod Podge a napkin on there. And this is one of my favorite pages because this is some stickers. Like I said, my friend Mary Jane gave me all these stickers, and I've been using them. And this is a napkin from Janie, and I love it because it's so vintagey, so soft. And I just added a strip of napkin because it just kind of finishes it off. And you notice it doesn't come all the way down. This says "Laugh," and I did some fussy cutting from some scrap paper, and I really like that effect. And this is a kind of a card. I was playing around with napkin, and you see the tissue paper, and right here is a quote right here about friendship. And you know, this is just made from pieces of scrap paper, and these little tags go in there, and you could probably add a picture on there. And the back, I glued it so that it is a giant pocket, and this also came from Pinterest, and there it goes. These are some stickers, and this was kind of pretty, this lace, and then there's little rose, I don't know what you call it, like it's a lace or a rosebud and leaf kind of look there, but I really like that effect. Very pretty. It was an accident. Stickers, stationery, and this is the other side. This is the envelope, you know, I was telling you about from Carla Rose, and you can see, so it became a side-loading pocket. Love makes everything grow, and so I have this tag, journaling area, so that she can use it. And here you can see again the lace, and you can see the satin I used right here. It came from a wedding dress, and here the envelope is still there, so you can use it to store supplies or pictures. And here's another one of my favorite pictures just because I just like it. And you know, the lace, I talked about the lace, and I just have this to keep it closed. I guess you could wrap the flap around the front if you wanted. And I've talked about the back here. You can see how this closure works. It's a kind of a different closure. Every so often I will add them on just for fun. And so you bring it around. Oops. Make sure it's straight. And it's adjustable. Now the buttons, I did that just for fun because I was playing with buttons. And so you can adjust it, this how tight you want it. And there is my vintage journal. And like I said, I've been playing with lace, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So again, thank you for watching, and we will see you again.